Hello, and welcome back to Audiotree Live, the place to discover your new favorite band. My name is Jason, and today is Thursday, November 13th, 2025, and we're coming at you from Chicago. Today we have a band that's music is as angry as it is intense. With fast-paced guitar riffs, blast beats, and of course breakdowns, this band still puts emotion at the forefront of their songwriting. All the way from Los Angeles, Spite. Take it away, guys. Hey guys, this has always been something strange for us here at Audiotree. Over 88% of you who watch our videos are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So could we please ask you a favor? If you like the show and you like discovering new music and you want to support us, the free and simple way to do that is to just hit the subscribe button. And our commitment to you is that if you do that, our team will continue to get the best bands we can. We'll listen to your feedback. We'll book the bands you want to see on the show, and we'll continue spreading the word of live music to the world. Thank you so much. So much to comment on just those two songs alone. But the first thing I need to know, what's going on with that intro sample? That was so cool. And how it fucking kicks right into a riff like that.
Sure does.
Where did that come from?
So that's from Fantasia, like the original one.
Yeah, okay.
It was made in the 1940s. Mm-hmm. And yeah, like it's such a creepy, kind of like symphonic sample for sure. Yeah, we used to close out with that, with the disco version after our set was done. That's right. It's called Night on Disco Mountain.
Night on Bald Mountain.
Night on Bald Mountain.
That's the one we use.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the wrestling intro, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But it adds so much of a, it's like, Spite to me, the evil deathcore band. You guys are the evil one, in my opinion, you know? And it totally adds to that vibe altogether. For me, at least, it does when you guys play that.
Absolutely.
My next comment, easily the loudest band in this room I've ever hosted.
That's fucking right. I'll take
that.
that.
If you guys were ever looking for that accomplishment, you got it. It sounded huge. I could like get wall of guitar on my left. It sounds so good. And bro, that switch blasting and caved in there. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard anybody do that and make it sound so consistent like that before. It sounded awesome.
That's new for this tour.
Yeah. Well, it sounds awesome.
Fuck yeah.
So you guys are on tour right now with Fit for a King, Make Them Suffer, and 156 Silence, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be easily the heaviest band on the tour?
I love that shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun kind of just like giving something to people that they haven't really heard before. And I talk about this a lot, but like metalcore crowds are very receptive to most heavy music in general. So it's really good going on tour and playing in front of this kind of audience because they'll just like soak it up. They get excited about music rather than some really, deathcore shit sometimes can get a little elitist. You know, these people will show up to your shows and just be stoked, you know.
I even go further to say, like, I just remember when I was growing up, like, having mixed bills, like, for tours and just having all different genres in it. That's not like a thing anymore, but like I always
nice
think
contrast.
It's a good dynamic break for sure. Yeah.
It totally is. And I think when it comes to heavy music, especially having a bill that's so mixed makes the show for the audience just maybe boring is the wrong word to use, but a little less boring, you know? It's like you get such a variety with that whole package, but it's got to feel so cool. So
it's great, yeah.
Tell me about the origins of Spite. I know you guys are in LA now, and I know that you guys started as a Bay Area band, correct?
Right.
Yes.
The Bay Area is known for heavy music. You know, you guys got a crazy hardcore scene out there. There's a ton of technical death metal bands that come from that area, neck of the woods. It seems like a very sprawling place for heavy music. What was that like during the early days of Spite?
We played all kinds of heavy shows. I remember kind of like what we were just talking. We played with all kinds of different genres of metal. We played a lot of hardcore shows growing up. And at the time, we were actually very well received by that community. It's not necessarily our, like, I don't think it ever really was our, like, point. But now it's a lot more just, like, heavy metal oriented. But, like, Spite played all kinds of stuff growing up. And I think that's just kind of also helped like form in our newer songs, having different pulls from all kinds of shit in metal, you know.
I hear it a lot now. Especially as the band has evolved. You guys sound so different from that first record, right?
Yeah.
And like, I remember discovering Spite when I was discovering bands like Traders and Body Snatcher, like that stuff really being on the rise.
Sure.
What was kind of the influence to start Spite? What was the idea like to find a sound there?
I think, you know, I was playing in a ton of local bands and stuff with a bunch of friends growing up in the scene. And I wasn't really happy with what I was doing. It just wasn't really the bands I was playing in wasn't really how I felt, wasn't really my thing. And I was just going through a lot of like internal shit. You know, I was an angsty teenager, you know. But I just needed, I needed to be the band that I wanted to hear to help me feel better about what was going on in my life. Because at the time, and not to say there aren't heavy, like insanely heavy bands out there, but at the time, nothing else was doing it for me, and I just wanted to be the voice for myself, you know. So I think that's kind of how Spite started, and going on from there, again, like, there's so many ways to accomplish pissed off and heavy and metal music, and I think Spite's had fun exploring all different realms of that,
Absolutely. You guys have covered a lot of ground for a band that, I don't want to say is so young, but for a band that's been around your career length, you guys have accomplished quite a lot.
Yeah.
And something I want to ask about that, and something that's interesting to me is, you guys are a brother band. Alex and Darius, you guys are brothers. I play in a band with a couple of brothers.
Okay.
What is it like for you guys in Spite, being brothers and working on a creative level, or just even working on a business level together?
I like to tell people that it's a learning curve, because it really is. Like, I didn't know how it was going to be like playing in a band with my brother going into my adult years, but like, I think, especially nowadays, like, there's always small things between me and him that get to each other. We know how to get under each other's skin the easiest, but we also know how to be just so open and honest with each other about things, and I think that's just how we get things done. And I don't know what I'd do without him at this point in my life.
We both have very intense personalities, and sometimes those obviously can clash, and because we're brothers, we're very comfortable being very open with each other, but like you said, I think a lot of people lack having a person in their life that will give them that brutal honesty, and it will change the trajectory of your life. If you have someone tell you what's going on and like you're fucking up, and all your friends are too afraid to tell you you're doing something stupid or something that's not right, we'll never fucking hold back on each other. And I think it's really helped. Like, I mean, obviously we're talking about the negative shit right now, but it does really help. I mean, he's my best friend too, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, we've done it together since we were kids, and we know how to work together. And we also grew up in a restaurant business, and that work ethic stays, we both did it together, and it just, like, I think it has carried us kind of like throughout our career.
Yeah, that's really cool. It makes, and that's so cool. I would never even think of that, like going from working together in a restaurant and then translating how you guys learn to kind of work together in that environment to a band.
Because, when you start a band, it's all fun in the beginning, and then as things get more serious and things get bigger and everything just keeps going to a larger scale, that's when we have to come together and be like, oh shit, this is actually a business too, and we need to think about it as such and be professional. And
absolutely.
So.
Well, all right, fellas, let's hear some more songs.
Yeah, let's do it.
Acclaimed.
right, guys. I got a question for everybody in the room, and I want to go around and ask everybody this individually. What do you guys think is the wildest thing you've ever done out of spite?
Start with Travis.
Wildest thing.
That's a tough one.
That you're open to sharing.
In real life,
Most
I'm not
of them
a
are
very
tough.
spiteful person.
I gotta
Just
think
a good thing.
FYI.
I gotta think middle school days. You're a lot more petty in middle school, you know what I mean? Let me think here.
I have nothing I can say on the air.
You're a terrible person.
we're doing things out of spite. It's not looking good.
Definitely true.
Yeah.
Definitely true.
Damn.
I don't know. I'm not a very spiteful. Well, I'm a
You guys
petty person.
are making us look so soft right now. Well, we're not actually very spiteful people.
Peeking over on tests that I shouldn't be peeking over on, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! It's all right. We hold it down.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Craziest
All right,
thing
guys.
we've done out of spite. That's awesome.
Out with the old world and in with the new world killer. Album number 5 for you guys?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. This thing is a banger, and this thing is an evolution of the band. I want to know everything about this record. So when I was kind of checking it out and then following the singles that came along, I noticed how different the songs were from one another, which I think is a really cool thing when a band does that. Was that kind of the idea behind this record?
Yeah, it ended up being like kind of more of a collection of songs like that we came together with, and it was such a collaborative effort between me, Darius, and Travis also that it ended up like that. I do love how it adds such a dynamic to the record, and it takes you through a roller coaster as you're listening to it. I think one thing we also really want to continue doing with Spite is kind of expanding that box on guitar, just so things don't get stale. Like, I love how there's key changes throughout the record. Like, yes, there's heavy parts and breakdowns all throughout, but they're not the main basis of the song, and you're not waiting to get to that part in each song.
It's not a song just for the breakdown where you're listening to everything just to get through it so you can hear the oh moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm sick and tired of that shit. There's so many ways to do heavy stuff, man. You know? I do like kind of what Alex is saying. It's just we have all that room now to play with guitar. And I think in the last 2 records, we got to expand that a little bit. Since Dedication to Flesh, it showed that, hey, we're not just this like deathcore beatdown, slow breakdown band.
Well, yeah, you know, and you end up in this drop A kind of chromatic box where everything just kind of sounds the same after a while. And where do you go
think-
from there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when like choosing like how we make our records, kind of like how you're saying, the singles all sound very different. We kind of look at it like we're making a set list, you know, while we're like building an album track list and we're writing, we think about how everything's going to flow together, and we don't want it to get tired. So we have to make sure all the songs and albums, like the tempos make sense to change, and the keys change, and they all make sense, right? Just like what we would in a live setting, to keep it very interesting, you know?
Absolutely, and you could hear that. I mean, when even with songs like Lights Out, where I get really this like groovy vibe from the track, especially like the main riff in that track, and then you look at a song like Shedding Skin, which almost has more of like a, dare I say, Pantera feel to it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right on
Say
that
it.
front.
Okay. Yeah. You could definitely hear it. And it's cool, though, because it all still sounds like Spite to me. And the interesting thing, you know, we could take the macro scope, as I like to call it, when we're zooming out instead of zooming in. Deathcore, and you guys know this, especially first wave bands, there's a tendency where a band, I think, gets this far in their career where they really start to experiment. You know, you got Whitechapel doing singing, which I loved. You know, you had Suicide Silence doing a record with Ross Robinson, which I also loved. I like it when bands go out of the box, but I think what's really cool about Spite is like, you guys are still, like the music on New World Killer is so angry still. It still has that Spite vibe, but it just sounds like, here's Spite trying something a little bit different, which I think is just such a cool way to make a record like that.
Right. No, I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, of course. And I noticed when I was researching the record that this is your guys' first recording experience with Will Putney, right?
It is.
Okay, how was that
yeah.
like? Because I know you guys used to record with your previous member, Cody.
Right.
Okay, what was this like now working with somebody completely outside of the circle?
It was incredible. It was also new for me. Like, I tell a lot of people this about how, like, a lot of times when you walk into a studio, you're kind of married to the material that you go in with, like, whether it's demos or something. But I didn't want to do that with this record. I wanted to go in and kind of make sure that it was a collaborative effort between everybody, because that's what being a band is. And, yeah, I just wanted this to be a a correct snapshot of where we were in our lives. And Will did such a good job of bringing out that side of us in the studio.
I think, despite, Alex and I have always been very, making our records, they all have to be exactly how we want it, And I think part of moving forward and expanding the universe of the band is being a little more open. We have other members in our band. We want to go to a producer that can give us a different perspective and not just do what we're doing all the time. You know what I'm saying? And we went into it with that open mentality for the first time with New World Killer. We let the drummer write his own drum parts, where normally Alex is doing all that. And, Ben was there. Olivia, our photographer, was present. Our manager showed up. It was just like a good vibe, collective effort. Everyone got to have a voice. And with Will, he came very prepared. We showed up, but he was very prepared in the sense, like, we got there, he had all of Alex's demos laid out on one project. He had notes for, like, everything, and we were able to just, like, start working almost right away because he did his homework on the band, which is really cool. Like, he knew he was making a Spite record. He wasn't trying to, like, make us do something crazy different, step way outside the box that we've never done. It was like, how can I help you make another Spite record,
He's the guy to do it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got such an insane pedigree within the genre alone,
And, we were really adamant about getting that live sound. We wanted it to sound really authentic and complement how we sound on stage. And he was really great about that. All of his stuff sounds very authentic and genuine. And he when we got in the studio, he asked us what we used live, and he went out and bought all of our gear so we can just really do it exactly how we would do it. It's really cool.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me, is that, like, especially within this genre today, is drums all sound like whatever the most popular, like, top-selling MIDI fucking drum program is, because everything gets resampled and quantized, and it just all sounds the same, and I very much didn't want to do that. And when we got there, like Darius was saying, like, I was like, hey, like, I brought some stuff, but, like, what do you like? And he was just like, I don't know, what do you use? I want it to sound like you. And, like, I've done some records before, and I've always been very disappointed at the end, because I'm like, this isn't even me on the drums. You might as well just programmed it. But, like, when I listen to this, I'm like, this is what it sounds like if you're standing next to my fucking drum kit. And to me, that was, like, the biggest goal, and he just, like, blew it out of the water. Like, he just absolutely crushed it. It was so sick.
Yeah, that is awesome. And you do bring a really good point up with that, with the modern drum production in metal, being so hyper edited with some stuff. It's really cool to hear something that has more of a natural feel to it, like you're standing right next to the kit.
It does, and I think that we're at a point where there's, like, especially right now, there's a lot of new eyes on deathcore that, like, the whole TikTok thing and, like, Instagram. Like, people are coming to shows that maybe have never even been to a metal show, and they're maybe going to see, like, an insane deathcore band for the first time. And if every record sounds like that, you're kind of setting them up for when they get there being like, oh, why does this sound like shit? It's like, well, it doesn't sound like shit, it just sounds real. And I think that that's, like, something we take pretty seriously, is we want our shit to sound the way we play it,
Absolutely.
So.
Darius, tell me, what does New World Killer mean to you? What does that title mean? Give me that.
Well, we kind of came up with the title at the end, actually. So that was a demo name for one of the songs, actually, that ended up not making it to the record. So we had all these, like, demo tracks laid out, and finally we got down to all of it. That was the last song we actually recorded for the record. So we were actually able to look at everything we had and go, what is this? You know what I mean? Look at all the songs, and to wrap it up, we got to write New World Killer, like, thinking with all the songs laid out already, that being the last one, what is this going to be? And so we had the title, like, name before we even, like, Alex wrote the lyrics to that one. Before the lyrics were even written, it was like, this is New World Killer. This is how we wrap up all the themes on this album, So it came out perfect. I think writing the lyrics too, like, was kind of like how we kind of conceptualized it. It just, especially with Lights Out, there's songs that are a lot more telling with, like, what the record is about. I think there's a few songs that cover just the internal monologue and the battle of conscience of what you should and should not be doing. And once we kind of had all that material together, we were able to kind of go, yeah, that's the name of the record. Yeah, it's that trouble with the internal monologue in the modern world, to make it very obvious.
Perfect way to sum it up.
Yeah.
So, guys, I mean, you've covered so much ground with this record. You're covering so much ground with your career in general. I just would like to ask, what do you guys think is in the cards creatively for the future of Spite?
I'm more inspired than ever to continue writing music. Like, it took a lot over the last couple of years to kind of get settled in, and having this record all at the same time, and it was all exciting, but it was a lot at once. And I don't know, if the place that we're at in the band with all the members too, it just makes me more excited to kind of keep touring and showing people what else we got.
We have like a studio space now at home, me and Alex built, so we have like a proper writing setup finally for us. It's like 24 hours and all. I think it's a hard question to answer right after you put out a new record, you know, like what's coming next, you know, but we have a lot of touring to do off this record, but we have winter break coming up. We have a couple little downtimes, and me and Alex have already discussed, like, now that we have this heat under our belt, we knew what that recording process was like how can we be even more prepared for the next one. So I think our head is actually already kind of just like, you know, we've talked about doing an EP or something next or whatever, but we are talking about what's coming next. It just, I couldn't tell you what it is.
Sure.
More drum solos.
Well, all right, fellas. Let's hear what else you got.
All right,
We got one more in the tank.
Dedication. Fucking rip it.
We have reached the end of today's session. As usual, I would like to thank our audio team and the camera team and everybody here at Audiotree to make this possible today. Guys, Spite, thank you so much for the amazing performance today and possibly the loudest I've ever heard in this room.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's right.
That's right, baby.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
If you guys are watching this, it means that right now this session is live on Spotify, Apple Music, and every streaming service known to man. If you like what you see on this session, leave a comment, maybe subscribe to the channel if you want to discover some new favorite bands. My name is Jason. Thank you guys so much for your time, and we'll see you again very soon. Peace out.
Thank you.
All right, so you guys want to do it for real now?